This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombarnardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
You damn right. That's all I have to say. I got to start the show with a comparison, and it's a very fair comparison.
Okay.
I did a lot of research into it and all the rest of it. Katie Ledecky wins 8th gold with new Olympic record. Her cousin, Brittany, is a complete loser. What do you think? Nice balance?
Yeah. I would push back that as good as Katie Ledecky is at swimming, apparently she's as equally terrible a baker, because there's a secret there's a secret family recipe, sugar cookie recipe, I believe it is, in the family. And I guess Katie Ledecky's are terrible and Brittany's are the gold medal standard.
Gold medal?
Yes. So things even out. There's balance in the world.
She's just taking them off her neck.
Yep.
Britt. Did she learn that when she was in the Army?
I think it was a grandma passed it down to relative, and now Brittany is the queen of the cookies.
So did you bring that up because of the comparison between Catherine and me? Is that why you brought it up? So I could be exposed as a complete fraud in the kitchen?
So you can't cook either?
Oh, God. You don't want me cooking anything. I can fry I can't even fry a hamburger. Never mind. I could grill a hamburger, but I can't fry one.
Yeah, I mean, that's the better way to do it, I would say.
Yeah.
Oh, grilling's definitely a better way to do it. But yeah, I don't know any cooking. Well, first of all, like I said, we scramble. Well, all I ever did, you know how I learned to cook?
How's that?
Chef Boyardee spaghetti in the box. They still even have that?
Yeah. Not in the box.
Not in the box.
That would be disgusting in a box.
Well, I guess it would be more like a hamburger helper equivalent.
Oh,
probably.
yeah. I guess I'm thinking of like.
Oh, no. You don't just. It's not liquid in a box. No, that would not be good.
You just bring a sopping wet cardboard box to the counter.
No, they have the Chef Boyardee now in the can, or like SpaghettiOs type.
Yeah. Okay.
Where it's
Oh, is that what it is? Yeah. Yep. See, I can't eat that stuff. No. I'm sorry, but so apparently I am a good cook as far as that's concerned, because I used to you'd do up the noodles and then you'd have the sauce and all the rest of it, but it's a lot better than that stuff in the can.
Oh yeah, the stuff in the can. And then there's some people that'll eat without like heating it up, and it's just I can't.
Whoa!
You've never seen that? People just eat it straight out of the can, like the raviolis. Yeah,
that sounds disgusting.
Not great.
What do you got, a homeless shelter by your house? What's that all about?
I vividly remember one of my family friends growing up, like he was a hunter, outdoorsman type, and he was just eating the big square ravioli just straight out of the can.
Oh, God.
That reminds me of my buddy Nick, and he won't care because I joke about this with him all the time, but he used to work as a Domino's delivery driver when he was in like high school and then in college. But he would get off work super late because, that'd just be the shift.
Yep.
But he'd get home, and instead of like making something big, he would make what he called pizza soup, which was cold marinara sauce. And then he would just sprinkle in like pepperoni and cheese and like just eat it out of a bowl with like some, like take some bread and just like wipe it. I was like, you're disgusting.
Well, he's got the bread though. That's good.
Just an animal.
That is an animal. So he's too lazy to put it. Maybe. Well, you had microwaves back then.
Yeah. He's a character.
Yeah,
is what I'll say.
Remember Tommy O'Brien and Chucky Gleason, two friends of mine, lived together, and that was the first microwave I ever saw at their house.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like everybody would come over to their house and go, "Ooh, this is like magic." Everybody was all fired up. I mean, when I look at the first half of my life and then the second half of my life so far, all the things that have come along, like, people walking through the halls downstairs. I walked indoors today because it was raining when I left my house. It's not raining anymore, is it?
No.
But when I left my house, it was, so I walked indoors. I would say 9 out of 10 people I passed in the hallway were staring at their phone. Do they know how dangerous that is?
Oh, yeah.
No,
I mean, depending on what area you're walking in, like, yeah, you probably shouldn't be staring at your phone. Like, if you're walking home at night downtown, probably keep your head on a swivel. Not that anything bad is necessarily going to happen to you, but you never know.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought up downtown, because on Monday I went down to do a voiceover, and downtown is a lot better than it was a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it's much better, but then it's also still a lot of
weird,
not great things that happen. But Yeah, for the most part, it's not. I feel like it's not as dangerous as they make it seem, but it still has a little ways to go.
It's kind of in that rebuilding, recovering, like similar to what Chris was saying about his time in Chicago and Kristyn and her time in Chicago, where it's like a couple years ago, terrible probably, but it's gotten like it doesn't happen overnight. Rome wasn't built in a day, so it's more presence down there. You're restructuring things and reorganizing things, and it'll get better with time.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel like they've given up on downtown. Like it has kind of, they're doing a lot of outdoor events during the day, and every Thursday they block off the entirety of Nicollet Mall, and there's like food trucks. They have a hot dog street vendor that's down there now, and music. And so, it's a fun place.
You were doing some VO down there?
Yeah.
Oh, getting back into it, I see.
I think I am going to get back into it, to tell you the truth. They sent me a couple of other things. I know we'll see how it goes. I mean, I have to fight what the political pricks in this state did to me, but because it's still there.
Was it? Are you able to share, or is it an NDA of what?
No, it's basically on Wikipedia. They called me a racist and a homophobe.
Oh, sorry. I mean, what the voiceover was for.
You mean the one I did on Monday?
Yeah, sorry.
Well, everybody knows it's bullshit anyway. Yeah. So, but people from out of state don't know that, and that's where I took the big hit.
Yeah,
that's why I just stopped doing it. Just look at my history and you would know it's a flat out lie, but people don't even bother to do that.
No.
And by the way, I did make a brilliant decision yesterday. I was brilliant yesterday. I want you to know that.
Wow. Okay.
Because I watched the news last night. It's true. I can't stand either Republicans or Democrats anymore. These people, it's all about money and calling other people the worst names. See, I got a much better reputation, even with those two things, than either presidential candidate does. So that's good. I could run for president and look really clean compared to those two.
Yeah, get your suit out, get on the ballot.
Another thing that I'd like to point out is that Donald Trump stole an idea from me, and he's using it to try to win the presidency. Years ago, I said to Tevin, "Are you really black?" Remember that when I said that to you?
I do not.
I do not remember that. Well, I didn't read the article, but did he say you're not really black?
It was I would say from somebody who's not the brightest political mind, it seemed like a disaster of an appearance for him.
What? No, was that on the?
It was at the NABG.
Oh, that's right.
Like the black journalist thing.
Yeah. So you didn't? Did you see any of the clips of him there?
No, I can't watch that stuff anymore from either side or any side. I want nothing to do with politicians anymore. I don't want them near me. It's always about the money.
Tevin, did you see it all?
I did not, but I think for him to go on a black journalist panel, essentially, and then question somebody's blackness is a very bold strategy.
Yeah,
for Mr. Trump.
Well, it was very interesting because they started like 45 minutes late because there was a pretty hard-standing rumor. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, where's he 45 minutes late because he was on Black People Time? But
there you go. A little honesty for once.
It sounded like there was a little bit of a standoff for whether or not they were going to be allowed to do live fact checking during the questionnaire.
Oh yeah.
But then, it was a question regarding Kamala Harris, and he essentially, to a point, was like, "Well, to my knowledge, she never identified as black. She was always Indian," and then. It was a weird quote, but he said, and then she just turned into a black person. Like and then the crowd was not a fan of that comment because the tone and like the way he got around to it wasn't the best. And the whole thing, I saw one of some political analyst was like, I don't even want to give him like props for having the guts to show up there to like try to like get those votes, just because there was really no bright spot out of the whole thing.
It wasn't good.
It doesn't seem like there's a lot of like much of a silver lining you can pull from that appearance.
Okay, so why don't we all agree that no matter who wins, we're in tough shape?
Yeah, I think that's been the case for a while now.
You're absolutely right. It's been that way for a long time now. And why? Well, I suppose. Well, although I don't know, because a lot of corporate America is greedier than the son of a bitch too. It's all about greed and money. That the whole thing's about greed and money. So I don't know. We'll see how it. What Catherine and I've been doing a lot lately just to get away from that stuff. We've been watching TV series from like 1960 because I don't dare bring that stuff up in 1960. So honest to God, it's just much easier going. Did you know, as a matter of fact, and I can't get too deep. Oh God, it's 12 after. I can't get into it all. Have you ever seen the episode of One Step Beyond? It's a true story about the Titan, a book written by, my God, I can't remember. I used to know his name. The book was called The Titan, and it was about the biggest ship ever built and how it went to sea, and it was unsinkable. This is in a book in 1898, I believe it was written. This unsinkable, gigantic ship named the Titan goes to sea, hits an iceberg, and sinks and kills 2/3 of the people on board. 12 years later, the Titanic, another, and not the Titan, but the Titanic, did the exact same thing in reality.
The book is called The Wreck of the Titan.
The Wreck of the Titan, that's right.
Or Futility. It's a weird colon. Yeah, you're actually spot on. 1898.
Jesus.
It was written by Morgan Robertson.
Morgan Robertson, there you go. Can you believe that? And it came true like 12 years or 14 years later.
Is that what you said was One Step Beyond was the show in the book? Like, is that like the early version of The Simpsons, just predicting the future?
Yeah, maybe. You might be right about that. I know we got to move on, but I wouldn't mind getting into that a little bit. If anybody knows more about that. I mean, this guy predicted something was going to happen, and it did. How weird is that?
It's part of me wants to think that there's just some like scenarios that have been undiscovered and unexplored to where somebody like it's realistic. Mm-hmm. So eventually it's probably going to happen, but somebody beats it to it with like a story. But also that's just so coincidental that, you know, about a decade-ish later.
Yeah. And
it happens.
And for anybody that wants to watch it, it is available on YouTube. One Step Beyond, night of April 14th. It's 25 minutes long.
Is that a Roku deal too?
No, it's just on regular, plain old free YouTube.
Oh, it is. Okay. Yeah, because Roku, I know, has it too. But it's a really good show, actually. We got to take a break here. Be right back in a couple of minutes. Let's talk nothing but Olympics with Judd.
Yeah, I heard.
Hey, Judd, I heard you love the Olympics. That's what I heard.
I heard he was glued to the TV watching
USA, USA, USA. If you didn't hear the show yesterday, holy Hannah. When you go to a restaurant, you expect the chef to be an expert. Yes, I do. You expect your auto mechanic to be an expert when it comes to fixing your car. You judge them both by the results of their work. Josh Arnold is an expert in investments and planning your financial future. Josh Arnold is my expert, and he should be yours too. I talk to Josh every week, and he understands the market, the economy, and he knows how to plan for your retirement. Don't put it off another day. The man with your plan is Josh Arnold. Call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You got nothing to lose, and you'll have an expert planning and managing your financial future. Here's what you need to do. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. You know that. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice, and I am a paid endorser.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they taught you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers, and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
You horn tootin'. Mike Lindell and my pillow employees. You know, somebody brought it up yesterday. I met a couple of listeners last night. I was going over, Jade Fountain out there in Wayzata. Mm-hmm. Really, really good Asian place. I met a woman and her husband, big listeners. Matter of fact, they own the Medina.
Oh, okay.
Medina Entertainment Center. Yeah, really nice people. Really, really good. Really nice, big listeners, the whole deal. So I told him to call in one of these days on the show. And I did point out to him I said, you and I look a lot alike, sir. How the hell did we end up with your wife and my wife? How did the two of us ever hit those home runs, Pally? Because I would say Catherine's a lot better looking than I am. And Brian, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, Mike Lindell, My Pillow employees, want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. And I want to thank you too. To thank you, they're having an overstock clearance and new product sale right now for the best prices ever when you use promo code Tom, and you get free shipping on your entire order. Get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived and won't last long. 6-pack towel sets for only $29.98, and take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses and mattress toppers. They're 100% made in the USA, on sale for as low as $99.99. Everything is on sale. From the brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually do absorb, dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, and so much more. To get the best specials ever, go to mypillow.com or call 800-516-5146 and use promo code Tom, and you get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-516-5146 or go to mypillow.com and use promo code Tom.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
USA, USA, USA.
Oh, you want to talk Olympics? Yeah, no, it's going great. I hear. I hear it is. The games are absolutely outstanding.
Well, before we talk, I have to make one correction, because I think when I was talking to the fine people from the Medina Entertainment Center in front of Jade Fountain last night, I pointed out that many years ago I went to see, and I said Eric Clapton. I meant Eric Burden, not Eric Clapton. Okay. So, because when I said Eric Clapton, he looked at me like, "What?" It was Eric Burden and the Animals. So sorry about that, Brian.
Eric Burden, good stuff.
Oh God, he was unbelievable. These
guys have no clue. AJ and Tevin just stared blankly. They're like, nope. Oh, okay, whatever. Who's that? Eric. That's a great old show.
You guys have to know there is a house in New Orleans. They call the rising sun. That's how he used to sing too. He did a little rasp in his voice. It was wonderful. I loved Eric Burden.
No, I know the song. I just, I don't know the guy. The song's good. I
thought he was say, I know the song, but that was a horseshit rendition you just did there.
Yeah, Tom. I mean, it was like a 5 out of 10. But
5 out of. Oh, I'm surprised you scored it.
That's a pretty good review.
Average.
Yeah, for me. I mean, in the state of Minnesota. Hey, Tom was about mediocre. Yeah, that's quite the compliment in this joint.
Nothing wrong with that.
So I didn't even watch the Twins again last night. What did they do?
They played in the afternoon and they won 8-3.
Oh, they did? Okay.
Yeah,
It was an afternoon game. So they have today off. Is that right?
They're off today, and then they start a 3-game series against the White Sox, who are abysmal and have traded and tried to trade everyone that wasn't nailed down to the floor. So they need to sweep that series. I don't often say that, but there's no reason not to beat the White Sox soundly in 3 consecutive games.
So are we still 6.5 back? I'm hoping not. I hope they finally lost the game over there in that.
Well, it's weird because Cleveland does lose, but every time they lose, it feels like the Twins lose. And then if the Twins win, Cleveland wins. So
they're 6 back right now.
6 back. Okay. So did Cleveland not play yesterday? That might be the case.
Probably. Yeah.
That might
probably
be the case.
True.
And Kansas City also 6 back. So Kansas City and the Twins remain in a virtual tie for second place in the American League Central.
Yeah, once we get totally moved in, we're almost totally moved in. I think we close, matter of fact, 2 weeks from today, I think we close. Mm-hmm. So we'll be 100% moved in and into it's been a month and a half of constant moving this and that. And oh my God.
Oh, now are you moving stuff yourself?
No, they deliver all the stuff, but then I am not exaggerating. Mm-hmm. The whole thing over the last month and a half, there have been about 75 crates that we had to unload. And this is like a 2,000 square foot apartment. It's not very big. I mean, it's not small, but it's not very big either. But it's just the unpacking. And then guess who gets to stuff the paper back in and then take the boxes down for them to pick up?
I'm going to guess it's not Catherine.
That's exactly right. Well, she's been busting her ass. I got to hand it to Catherine. I mean, she looks exhausted every night because she's unpacking this. Because you have to unwrap everything by hand. They wrap everything. to keep it safe and all of that.
Sure. Oh my God.
But and I got to thank Terrence at the Goodwill out in Wayzata, or that might be Plymouth. No, that's Plymouth where he is. Terrence working at the Goodwill, and I think he's getting sick of seeing me too. But I did point out, Terrence, you and I have to get along because my oldest brother's name is Terrence, so there's a connection.
There's no question you guys have to be best friends.
We have to be. That's all there is to it. The 5 boys in my family: Terry, Tom, Todd, Tony, and Troy. Are there any T's left? We didn't. Oh, Tyrell. We didn't get Tyrell in there.
Yeah, that was next on the list.
If my mother would have had a 6th boy, it would have been Tyrell. There's no doubt about that. And I think Troy was named Troy because of Troy Donahue, an actor back in the.
Oh yeah, I remember the name.
That's what I'm thinking anyway. But yeah, Troy was born in 1965. Was the last of us all, and unfortunately, he's been dead for a couple of years already. Man, that was a tough deal because Chad Hartman lost Sid, and I lost my brother in a 48-hour period.
Oh my God, really?
It was not pleasant. I'll tell you that.
No,
it's really weird to lose a brother at such a young age. Not good.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's gotta be incredibly tough.
That's a bitch. But moving on from there. He was the best athlete in the family, too. He's a good basketball player, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what's going on in the real world?
Well,
I'd
love to give you an Olympic update, but I can't because for whatever it is, consecutive day, I did not watch one stitch of, including I didn't watch the basketball game, which is the only thing that I might have watched, but I was at the Vikings practice in training camp. So my Olympic update is they are, from what I hear, still going on.
Well, I will tell you this, though, that Brittany Arneson over there at My Talk, her cousin, Katie Ledecky, wins her 8th gold with new Olympic record. Katie Ledecky is one hell of an athlete.
Did you see the viral video of Katie Ledecky swimming with like a glass of chocolate milk on her head and she doesn't lose a drop of it?
It's unbelievable.
What the heck? How do you do that?
But the unfair part of that whole thing, you look at how talented Katie Ledecky is, there's always a balance, and the balance in this case is Brittany. She has no talent whatsoever, so Katie got it all. You know what I'm saying?
Well, why couldn't she give some to Brittany?
The greatest thing about that is Brittany does afternoons now, so she's not even awake yet, so she can't call in and yell at me. I've known her since she was like 21, 22 years old. She had just gotten out of the Army, I believe, when I met her. I'm pretty sure that was right. But my whole family loves her. You should see my kids and my wife around Brittany. Oh, Brittany. Like, settle down.
She's going to find out about this. She'll call you at some point today and yell at you.
No, she's been a dear friend for a long, long time. Lucky I got to work the first year with her on this show, and then I knew she was going to be sliding over to My Talk, which is great for her. She deserves that job, no question.
Mm-hmm. No, it's
very
a great
nice
show too. Yeah, it's fantastic. But yeah, my Olympic update is very short and sweet. The games continue today as well, from what I hear.
Oh, there it is. What an update!
I saw a full schedule, so if you want to know what's on, you can find it yourself.
Well, the good news is, though, no bombs went off or anything like they do whenever it's in America.
Oh, like Atlanta?
Like Atlanta, like
I was actually that's back when I was on the copy desk, I believe, the Star Tribune, and that happened. If you recall, we were about set to leave for the night. It was midnight. It was after 12 or so, and the advisory at that time, because there was no, it wasn't 2024. The advisory came that a bomb had gone off in the Olympic Park, and I just remember the complete chaos that caused.
I do remember that. That was what was that guy's name again? I used to know his name.
Richard Jewell.
Richard Jewell. There you go.
Who was accused of it, and the movie on that is fantastic.
It is a really good movie, but
in
the phone book, if he went with a short name, his name would be Jewel Dick. That's not a good name.
No, that's not a good name at all.
Anybody under 40 went, what the hell is a phone book?
Yeah, that's true.
That is.
Yeah, a Yellow Pages? What the hell are you talking about?
The Yellow Pages.
I need an exterminator. Get me the Yellow Pages. Well, how about that? That's a great point. How about when there used to be a number you could call to get the time of day?
Yes, sir.
The time is 2:46 p.m. I don't know how much I spent on 411 information calls
Oh yeah.
because I was too lazy to go to the phone book. Like
Should
you
I
think
show-
about what we not that long ago in the reality of things used to have now that I don't think a young person would have any clue what you're talking about.
No, not well. Here's an example of what they wouldn't know what the hell I was talking about. I still remember that number to this day because my uncle Augie, who was murdered later on, I did not murder him though, somebody else did, but he asked me to call and see what time it was. Right?
Yeah.
Federal 59000. That was a number you used to call FE 59000 because it used to be Federal. Jackson was North Minneapolis.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. So that predates me, but I
Oh,
know
yeah.
what you're
Oh,
because I think it was Dawn said that her grandparents in Iowa, there was a general number that you would call, like you didn't have a number, you just had like the same exact thing that you just said, which is
Yep.
like a description of, yeah, that really goes back.
The reason it sticks in my head is my uncle Augie, like I said, who was later murdered at 39 years old.
Wow.
Threw him off a building, as a matter of fact.
What the hell?
He was kind of mobstery. Let me just point that out. And
That's
here's
great
a
mobster way to go. Yeah.
prime example of him being mobstery. He said, "Hey, Tommy, do me a favor, call time, see what time it is." I said, "Okay." So I FE 59000. I find out the time. But at the end, I said, "Thank you," and I hung up. Now, it's a recorded message. I should point that out to you guys.
Right.
But I was 4 years old, so I didn't know. He goes, "What the hell are you doing?" I said, "Well, I just told you what time." He said, "No, not that. Why'd you say thank you?" And I said, "Well, because I want to be polite." "It's a recording, you dumb bastard." I'm 4 years old. He goes after me. It's like, settle down, Uncle Augie. Relax.
So he was thrown off a building?
Yeah, he was thrown off a building in downtown Minneapolis.
No kidding.
And you know what we had to tell his mother, my grandmother, Minnie?
No.
"Oh, Minnie, it's too bad he slipped in the shower."
Oh, no.
One other little item that I used to bring up once in a while. He was 6'3", very handsome, very tall guy, you know, the whole deal. Fought in World War II, one of those kind of guys, tough guy and all the rest of it.
Sure.
We were so poor that we couldn't buy a casket big enough for him. So they had to cut his legs off at the knee and tuck him under the upper part of his leg to fit him in the casket.
Oh my God.
Jeez.
Nice life. So you'd understand why I'm kind of happy about how my life turned out, going from that to
Wow.
this. Pretty damn good, don't you think?
Well, and yeah, and that's before cremation was
Yes. Yep.
near normal. So I mean,
Yep.
it sounds terrible, but it actually, wow, that is a heck of a story. So just out of curiosity, are we talking about like potentially mobbed up with the old mob that was downtown?
Do you think?
Well, as we all know, that mob was pretty notorious at one time, I guess.
Yes, they were indeed. Kid Can.
Yeah, Kid Can.
You know why his name was Kid Can?
Mm-mm.
Because whenever fights broke out, he would go hide in the bathroom. Because he was not a good fist fighter. He was just a very brilliant guy, very smart guy that ran the mob, but he couldn't fight worth shit. So every time a fight broke out, he'd go hide in the bathroom. So they called him Kid Can.
Wow. I did not know that. I had no idea. I know the name because it's,
Well,
famous.
my brother
But,
Terrence
wow.
used to deal their poker games for Kid Can and his crowd. You know, Sid would be there, Kid Can would be there. Hubert Humphrey, he would be at those games too. Gee, I wonder why Hubert Humphrey was at the card game with Kid Can. How you doing with the collections there, Hubert?
It also sounds like the Kid Can stood for anytime he was questioned for a murder, he would say that he was in the can.
He was in the can, yeah. Very well. That's true because he wouldn't fight.
Yeah.
So he probably never did murder anybody. He had him murdered, but he didn't do it.
That is so interesting.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a great story, actually. It's one hell of a story. He was a brilliant man.
Yeah.
But that whole, Sid, I got to be honest with you, Sid knew all of those people, the Hubert Humphreys of the world and Kid Can and all the rest of it. He made connections. This was a guy, Sid Hartman, true story, that used to have to go. His mother would go find your father. Now, to be an alcoholic Jew in those days was just criminal. I mean, you just didn't do that. Well, I don't know a lot of Jews that drink a lot anyway. Some, I suppose. I can name one. But Sid used to have to go as a little boy into all the bars on Plymouth Avenue and look for his father and then basically carry him home because he was always hammered.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Sid had a bitch of a life, and look what he made of it.
Oh God, yeah. Well, and he met Kid Can while he was a youth selling papers on the street corners, right?
That's correct. Yep, at Plymouth and Penn.
Which was a very now the way that I took that story too is at the time that was a very territorial thing.
Oh yeah.
So like that would fall into line with the mob knowing where people were because you like established your corner.
You know, the one thing about that, and maybe you guys can find it, but there was a Catholic leader down in my neighborhood. He was an Irish guy. There was the Jewish leader, you know, the Kid Cans of the world over from Penn Avenue to Theodore Park. But in the middle of that was a black neighborhood. And to this day, I don't know the name of the leader of that neighborhood. They kept that really undercover. I wonder if you could find that. Like back in the 1950s, early 60s, who was the black leader of let's see, leaning gangstery in North Minneapolis? Because I've never known his name. They did a really good job of covering that up.
I didn't even know about that part. That's some interesting stuff though, man.
You know that I didn't find out that bars closed at 1 o'clock in the morning till I was much older, because the bars in my neighborhood stayed open 24 hours a day, whether they liked it or not.
and I'm willing to bet some law enforcement folks got their pockets padded a bit with some extra cash for allowing that to happen.
You know, there's a guy, what the hell's his name again? Great guy, wrote a book called Tough Jews. He's from Minnesota. What the hell's his name? Is it Richard Cohen? Might be, yeah. The book's called Tough Jews. It's a really, really good book about North Minneapolis. We should have him on the show. Matter of fact, you should come on the show when we have him on the show, Judd, because you'd love talking to that guy. There's a show called Mobsters Incorporated that's on one of the national channels, and he's on that show commenting on mobsters and gangsters and all that stuff. Really, really good book. Really good.
Okay.
You find anything?
Tough Jews. Yeah. Rich Cohen.
It is Richard Cohen. I thought so. Yeah. Nice Jewish boy from North Minneapolis. All right. We're going too long. We're going to have to get the separate Judd hour on the show now, because we talk about a lot of different things on here.
We do.
Which I love, by the way.
Oh yeah. No, but I just think that the stuff that you're talking about from that time period to me is so interesting.
It's fascinating to look back at the history and how things happened the way they did.
Yes. You
know why I-94 is where it is, or 394? It was all 94 at one point, I suppose. Highway 12 went into downtown.
Yeah.
But then you get, out far enough, it turns back into Highway 12, I think, just before you get to Wayzata. It's 394 till you get to there. Mm-hmm. But that highway was built where it was to keep everybody in North Minneapolis. Because in order to get downtown or over, to the wealthy area downtown, you had to cross the freeway on foot, which was not a good idea.
No, that'd be a very bad idea.
They kind of sealed us in there, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. All right, gentlemen.
Another great report, I thought.
It was educational.
I can't wait till next Tuesday to find out if the Olympics are still going on.
I'm going to be I promise you, I will be on top of that. I will come on next Tuesday and tell you if the games are still on. Hopefully it's very safe, and they are.
And we'll try to do it. And you got to come on, not during the report. We'll do it at a different time, but you got to come on. If we can get a hold of Richard Cohen, get Rich Cohen on the show.
I'd love to hear it. Yeah.
You got to be here for that.
I'd love to. Absolutely.
Really good book. Tough Jews, it's called.
Okay. I did.
Thanks, Pally.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.
Have a good day. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Judd Zulgad, SKOR North, ladies and gentlemen. We're right back in a couple of minutes with the brilliant newsman, Chris Egert, right after this. Why should your business bank with North American Banking Company? Here's Austin Bartz of Bartz Lawn and Landscape and Bartz Snow Sculptures.
I started banking with North American, I think, 3.5 years ago. all the people know me by name. I know them by name. It's fun to come into the bank and actually talk to somebody you know. So I made the switch and I'm very happy. It's the best bank I've ever been at.
So why not bank where I bank? With my friends at North American Banking Company. To learn more about North American Banking Company, go to nabankco.com. That's nabankco.com, or do what I do and stop by any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain, and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, well, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? You know, inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings, or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
When you go to a restaurant, you expect the chef to be an expert. You expect your auto mechanic to be an expert when it comes to fixing your car. You judge them both by the results of their work. Josh Arnold is an expert in investments and planning your financial future. Josh Arnold is my expert, and he should be yours too. I talk to Josh every week, and he understands the market and the economy, and he knows how to plan for your retirement. Don't put it off another day. The man with your plan is Josh Arnold. Call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll have an expert planning and managing your financial future. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, Channel 5's Chris Egert, the Kid Can of Channel 5 News, is brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. Chris Egert, what's happening, homie?
Hello, I got some breaking news just coming in the last couple minutes, actually.
Did I get fired?
Do we have a sound effect? Yes, thank you, AJ. So there's been a couple of prisoners over in Russia for several years now. The ones are a reporter, Gerskovich, and Paul Whelan. There's a prisoner swap. They agreed to a prisoner swap, and so they're going to be coming home. Yeah. Go ahead, Tom.
No, wonderful. That's all I had to say.
Whelan's been there since 2018. Gerskovich has not been there as long. He's been there since 2023. We don't know yet what the United States is doing in order to help to make this agreement work. But anyway, that just came in a couple minutes ago. So
now, how are they going to make the decision? Because, you know, America's turning into a commie country too. So which commies are going to send back to Russia?
Somehow I knew there was going to be some kind of a comment like that.
We have another like merchant of death laying around that we're giving.
Yeah, back. Right. That's the guy that they gave back last time, right? For Griner. Yeah.
I still don't understand Brittany Griner. What the hell was she thinking? She brought dope into Russia, didn't she?
I think she was trying to get. She had hash oil that she was bringing out.
Okay.
So yeah.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay. So Gershkowitz is going to come home finally, huh?
Yep. No timeline on it yet, but that just happened within the last couple minutes. So
that's great.
Other than that, well, actually, there's a couple of spot news things that happened last night, which weren't. Somebody got shot and killed in a car in Frogtown, and some teenagers got into some kind of a something or other. We're not really sure, just described as a fight, but a couple of kids got stabbed over in North St. Paul too. So it was East Side kind of had some stuff going on last night. So
no doubt about it. You know, what was the name of that damn bar over there? The Blue Note? No, that was in North Minneapolis. Well, you'd walk up that very narrow flight of stairs to get up to the where the bands played. What the hell was the name of that bar? I mean, I think it's still there, actually. It's over in Frogtown. But I used to go there all the time, as a matter of fact. And it just, one of my favorite stories there. It was a very, very narrow stairway to get up to the second floor.
Yeah.
And this very large man was coming down the stairs when a friend of mine was in front of me. And I told him, I said, you don't want to push too many buttons when you're here, because we're in Frogtown.
You warned him. You're like, listen, we're here for a show. Just chill. Yeah.
Yeah, just chill. So as this big man's coming down the stairs, the little guy's in front of me, and he won't get out of the way. So I literally picked him up and lifted him over my head, turned sideways, went up the staircase. And the very large man said, "Thank you, man. It's very respectful." I said, "You got it, pal."
They say you got to know how to act in certain places. Yeah. You got to be aware of that when you're, depending where you're at. And if I'm back in South Dakota and I'm in a certain place, it's like, dude, you got to dial it back. If you're in a certain part of town, you just got to know. If you don't know that, you're going in, you could get yourself in a little trouble.
No, I do have to tell you, because it will make sense to you once I say this. As we're walking up, the little guy who was white and the very large man who was black is coming down the stairs. And my friend said to him, never having met him before, "What's going on, brother?" And the guy gets a look in his face like, "What did you just say to me?" Like, oh no. It was very
He brought like the whitest dude ever to the club.
That's exactly right. Yeah, I think it might have been from Edina or something, one of those guys.
Was it Gelfand?
Oh God, no! Getting Gelfand to go to a bar. Good luck to you. Good luck to you.
Well, I was just imagining somebody small enough that you could pick up and carry, and that's
right. Back in those days, I could pick up anybody and carry him. Remember,
yeah, you're a big boy, Tommy.
That came up on the show. I was not anymore. I'm not, but that came up on the show a couple of days ago when Alfonso was here, and I picked up Boss Gags and threatened to throw him in the pool because he didn't think I could pick him up.
You're going to throw Boss Gags into a pool?
Into the pool. There used to be a pool at the Sofitel back when it was a Sofitel. There was a pool in there.
That's funny.
And he said, you could not pick me up. You're not that strong. So I picked him up over my head and said, "You want to go in the pool?" And he goes, "No." He was a great guy, actually. Boss Gags was a really nice guy.
Yeah, once you threaten him and pick him up to throw him in, you threaten him with a.
I was a little, back when I used to drink, I didn't always think clearly.
I wasn't gonna make assumptions, but I figured there probably was a little boozing going on if that was what was happening.
Well, my friend Cliff Siegel, who's now Lauren Siegel, well, Cliff was a man and now a woman. And that's why I love when people go, "Oh, you got such an attitude." One of my best friends became a woman like 30 years ago. What the hell do I care? You do what you want to do. But I called him and told him I was coming to one of his parties. He goes, "What do you want to drink?" He worked at Warner Brothers. That's where he worked. Okay. And we should have Lauren on the show again. As a matter of fact, she came in and did a couple of traffic reports on the KQ Morning Show. So we should get Lauren in on this show too. Loved it. See, I keep going. I love the guy because he was a guy for the first 40 years that I knew him. But now a woman, good for him. Bo Siegel, his brother, I still love that guy. And, great people.
Good family.
But I call Cliff at the time and I tell him I'm coming over to your party. He goes, "Okay, what time are you going to be here?" I said, "I'll be there in about an hour." He goes, "What do you want to drink?" I said, "Just, a Heineken sounds great." I get there and I said, walk in. He goes, "Hey, if you want a Heineken, they're in the bathroom." I went, "In the bathroom?" I walk in, the entire tub is full.
Bathtub, baby. Yeah, I knew where that was headed.
The whole bathtub's full of Heineken. He must have ordered 5 cases of Heineken.
It's been a minute since I've done that, but that is a good night right there. You're setting yourself up for success, at least that night. Maybe not the next morning, but.
Oh, it's true. And then as I walked out, another guy, his name was Phil. It was not Philip Wise. I'm not going to say the guy's whole name because he's not a public figure. But as I walk by to go to the bathroom, you had to go into the bedroom to find the bathroom. And of course, he was having sex with a woman there in the bed as I walked by to go.
Like I said, it was a good night. When you got a bathtub full of beer, possibilities are endless.
Oh God, what a life I've had. You know what? I should be very grateful for the life I've had, except for, working with you three. But other than that,
yeah, you're grateful. You're always grateful. Every time I hear you, you very appreciative. So,
well, I've had a great, for where I came from, man, I'm a very, very lucky guy. No question about it. So that's great news, though, that those guys are coming home. But you don't know yet what kind of.
No. Yeah. Who knows what we gave up, right? Like,
right.
Right. What's the saying? The devil's in the details. I guess we'll see as more comes out on that. So,
but it is good news that they're coming home
for sure. I can't imagine being stuck in a Russian prison for 10 minutes, let alone any time beyond that. So
I wonder if because you're an American, would the Russian thugs then want to beat the piss out of you on a daily basis?
That's my assumption, right? Like, I also feel like anybody who goes into Russia, any American could be at the mercy of who knows what, and they just grab you no matter what and find a reason to keep you there. Who the hell knows? But
there's a really good series, and I can't remember what channel it's on, but it's about the Aryan Brotherhood and all the different, because when you go to prison, you can make a choice or not, but you're going to end up with the same skin color as you have. The Aryan Brotherhood, and you got all the other mobs in there. They have video of fist fights. I'm surprised anybody lived. Oh my God, they would constantly get in these fist fights in the yard.
I pray to God I never do something stupid to end up in prison. I'm not going to last a minute in there, man. I don't want nothing to do with it. No.
Although I've, mentioned this before, one of my favorites, I used to go visit my friends in prison. I've had several, when you're going to grow up in that neighborhood, some of your friends are going to end up in prison. That's just how it is. But I would go, and you would run into things like, I've mentioned this to these two guys in the show before, but there was a guy who looked like Mad Dog Vachon.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever he would shuffle when he walked, he didn't walk, he shuffled, shuffling along. And I can't remember the name of the gang. It was a black gang. Do you happen to know that, not just because you're black, but did anybody happen to know what the name of the black gang was again? I don't remember.
No idea. Marty, what was the Mad Dog Vachon?
Well, no, Mad Dog Vachon was a wrestler.
Oh, he wasn't a part
but
of
he
the
looked
gang?
like Mad Dog Vachon. That's why they called him Mad Dog.
Gotcha.
But every time I was in there, he'd come shuffle along, and the gang would go, "Hey, Mad Dog, you pissed your pants again." And he'd go, "F you, F you, F you." Only he said the whole word. It's just that those are experiences, too, that most people don't have, that I'm very grateful for.
It makes you a very well-rounded person.
Yeah, I suppose that's probably true. But I'm really glad you started today with such great news. That is what, you don't want to see anybody held in prison for Gerskovich went to prison for no reason whatsoever.
Nope.
Just because he was American, right?
Yep.
Yeah. They tried to say he was like a.
All right, you guys, I got to roll. I'm going to be late.
I don't, mother job doesn't matter.
Sorry, I got to go.
Right. Goodbye, you big baby. Sugar tit all the way. Channel 5's Chris Egert is brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. Thank you. Thank you very much. An argument broke out at my old place of employment because apparently one of the guys talks about all this stuff, but he's not from here. So he talks about stuff nobody gives a rat's ass about. And the general manager went, "Well, Tom always talked about North Minneapolis." Well, that's where the station was. Okay, yeah. You want to talk about local stuff is what, you dumbass. That's why you got a one share now, you genius. Anyway, so what are you guys laughing about?
Oh, no, I'm just imagining them argue, or like what he was talking about that caused them to have an argument. Like, here's your local Idaho news coming to you live from Minneapolis. Yeah.
Well, I remember once in Kentucky. It's like, good for you. Shut up. No, I mean, normally when I talk about that, I talk about, how the cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul, because there was a time over in St. Paul where there was a corner you didn't want to go on over there unless you knew some people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you guys know about that, don't you?
Yeah.
Selby Dale.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Selby Dale. If you didn't know people over there, you could, although a friend of mine, lying piece, he was a little thug himself. He gets pulled over on Dale. We had just passed through the neighborhood. And he gets pulled over by the cops for speeding.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, "Okay, you just shut up, man. I'll handle this." I said, "What?" He goes, "I'll handle it. Just shut up." I said, "Okay." And the cop gets there. He rolls down his window and he goes, "Officer, I know I was speeding, but that's a very scary neighborhood." And the cop let him off. It's like, really? He tells him how scary the neighborhood is. That was a pretty good move. Not a problem. All right. So what else is happening? We got to take a break here.
Yeah, you want to take a break real quick?
I think we should.
All
We'll be
right.
right back in just a couple of minutes. Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. To thank you, they're having an overstock clearance and new product sale right now for the best prices ever. When you use promo code TOM, you get free shipping on your entire order. You get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived and won't last long. 6-pack towel sets for only $29.98. And take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses and mattress toppers. 100% made in the USA, on sale for as low as $99.99. Everything is on sale, from the brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually absorb dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, and so much more. To get the best specials ever, go to mypillow.com or call 800-516-5146. Use promo code TOM, and you can get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-516-5146. Go to mypillow.com and use promo code TOM.
Is that text you're sending so important that you missed your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
Why should your business bank with North American Banking Company? Here's Austin Bartz of Bartz Lawn and Landscape and Bartz Snow Sculptures.
I started banking with North American, I think, 3.5 years ago. All the people know me by name. I know them by name. It's fun to come into the bank and actually talk to somebody you know. So I made the switch and I'm very happy. It's the best bank I've ever been at.
So why not bank where I bank? With my friends at North American Banking Company. To learn more about North American Banking Company, go to nabankco.com. That's nabankco.com, or do what I do and stop by any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
We are back, and Tevin just found something that'd be pretty interesting to me in any case about the lumber exchange downtown.
Yeah, well, the AJ was saying like the Poorhouse, which is the concert venue club down there, is closing, and it kind of closed just immediately. Like they just
really?
They didn't announce like, hey, this is our last week coming up, come join us. It was just, oh, by the way, we're closed. And so there's some speculation on if the whole building is being like purchased by somebody else and everything's getting shut down, and are they going to renovate it or what the hell is going on? But they're being very secretive around kind of the reasoning why. Because it was the Poorhouse, I mean, it was extremely successful. Like they were always packed. So it's not like it was, too expensive, not making enough money. So people are kind of, the rumor mill is going wild right now, trying to figure out what's going on with.
Was the Poorhouse downstairs?
Yeah, I think technically.
It was on the lower level, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because that used to be Club Casino. You guys remember Club Casino?
I don't.
No.
It was a black bar that was in the basement of it. And the reason I know that is because I'm with a couple of, you ever heard of Warner Hardware, Warner Stallion?
Oh,
Okay,
Yep.
Yeah.
Familiar.
Jeff and I were really, really good friends. And his brother was, I think he was a professional hockey player, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
But the two Warner brothers, the two Warner brothers, that sounded pretty good. We went to Club Casino. We're the only white guys in there. And we're talking about, and as we walk in, one of the brothers said, "Hey," really loud.
Okay.
It got a little quiet, and he goes, "We'll take all of you on." And this gigantic bouncer comes over laughing. He goes, "Will you guys get the hell out of here?" It's like, you got it, pal. It was just very, very cool. You know, they got the joke instead of being a pain in the ass about it. They realized they got the joke. I enjoyed that a lot. But yeah, I worked there a lot because Cookhouse moved from 26th and Nicollet in South Minneapolis to the fourth floor, I think it was. I think it was the fourth floor of the Lummox, and that became Audio Ruckus. I think Cookhouse became Audio Ruckus, and now Audio Ruckus is over on 3rd. Karen, I just saw her on Monday. I caught something for. Well, I don't know if I'm supposed to say or not yet because it hasn't come out yet. But in any case, I cut a commercial there, and she's terrific. Some really, really nice people. But yeah, so many great memories about downtown. I'm glad you brought that up because I hope they don't tear that building down. It's a kind of old castle-y looking building.
Yeah, well, something called Hempel Real Estate plans to redevelop the Lumber Exchange building, and it looks like it's going to be repurposed for retail, office, and residential spaces. So
I wonder if that's Johnny Hempel's old company. Because Johnny Hempel, he died a few years ago, or several years ago now, but I don't know if that's Johnny Hempel or not. But they're out on, what would that be, 169 and 62, I think is where the Hempel, maybe 169 and 494.
They're in Eden Prairie.
Yeah, in Eden Prairie,
yeah,
right there. I wonder if that's Johnny's old company. But so they bought the building, huh?
Yep.
That couldn't have been cheap.
Oh, no, not at all. I would assume they probably had to break the bank for that.
I'm actually kind of mad now because I'm looking at their website to see like if there's any news. They haven't really put anything out there, but now it looks like they're gonna have to cancel Extreme Dwarfinators Wrestling that's happening on August 14th.
What do you mean they're canceling it?
I'm genuinely upset. I found out about this 10 seconds ago. That sounds like a ball of fun.
God, yes. What was the name of the bar that used to be behind the Lumber Exchange? Oh, what the hell was it? Had some great bands appear in there too. The Lone Star, Long something or Lone something, or what the hell was the name of that thing? So that would have been on what, 5th Street? Is that 5th and Hennepin, isn't it? Or is it 4th and Hennepin?
4th and Hennepin would be out to the north. So going back, I think it would be
5th and Hennepin. The Lone Star, the Longhorn. It was called the Longhorn Bar. That's what it was called. Look up the Longhorn Bar and see who appeared there. Because some great, great things happened up. That I used to love going down there working because there was a video game store across or it wasn't a store at the time. It was literally in the old video games. They didn't have home version of it.
Was it Jay's Longhorn Bar?
Jay's Longhorn. That's exactly right.
Okay.
Had some great bands appear in there throughout the years.
The Police, Blondie.
Yeah, listen to that.
The Replacements.
Jesus.
This is Husker Du.
Husker Du was there.
Husker Du.
Yep.
The Flamingo. Some Minneapolis punk band. Yeah.
See, that's the one good thing because I have a really, really good memory. The fact that you guys are finding out about this, the history of Minneapolis, I kind of like that you guys are as excited about it as I was when it was happening.
Yeah, well, I feel like there's not that many places like that anymore. And even like First Ave, like still obviously does a lot of shows and things like that, but I feel like it doesn't feel the same as it did when, obviously Prince was there, the scene and kind of the Minneapolis scene was really buzzing. It's still good and great now, but it's definitely isn't the same as it used to be.
Yeah.
From going down there on Monday, though, it seems like downtown Minneapolis is making a big comeback because it was just it was very dangerous for a couple of years there, like all big cities were. But it seems to be coming back because I love downtown Minneapolis, man. And St. Paul too, both.
Yeah, and that's why I like that narrative of, all the towns are going to crap and it's so dangerous.
Right.
Nobody was expecting like a pandemic, the level that we were at and everything like that. It was just so unprecedented and so unexpected that nobody really had a plan of defense, so to speak, to like how to maintain everything. So it takes time to build things back up. And like you said, everything seems to be heading in the right direction in terms of like those types of communities and towns.
God, I sure hope so because it was so fun to be down there. All those different bars and restaurants down there. And it like I said, being there on Monday, I parked a couple of blocks away from the studio, so I walked through, and it seems like it's come back a long, long way. So that's great to hear.
And North Loop specifically downtown is thriving.
Like it's massive.
That's like the place to be.
No doubt about it. Okay, I got to run some things by you guys. 15 strange things everyone did as a child. 15 of them. Do you think that can be even possible?
Oh, I bet there's a lot on here that are like, yep, I did that.
Okay, 15 strange things everyone did as a child, but no one talks about. Number 15 would be a bit off topic. When you randomly smell a specific scent you remember as a kid and the nostalgic memories come flooding in. Yes, that happens to me all the time. Happened to you guys?
Oh, yeah, it happened to me this morning. There was a
Did it really?
breeze in the air that smelled a little bit like pancakes, and I remembered a outdoor pancake like VFW breakfast that used to be in Osceola all the time. I was like, yeah, that's amazing.
I have two that always like kind of ring a bell for me. One is I have this like beard wash almost.
Oh yeah.
That it smells like the soap that my grandpa and grandma had up in Hibbing. My grandma still lives there, but like it reminds me of that all the time. And same thing, just the other way around. My grandparents' house in St. Cloud, it had like the upper attic. It wasn't like an attic, but it was like a spare room essentially. It had a very distinct, like it was kind of musky, but it wasn't, too
like the elder smell.
Exactly, right?
The elder smell. That's nice.
It wasn't exactly like that, but it's very similar. But that hits me every once in a while. I'm like, there, all right, that now I get that memory. So
that's wonderful. Number 14, sitting in church and looking up the massive light fixtures and trying to figure out who they'd kill if they fell. No, I never had that memory.
I haven't been to church in a while, so I'll say this. But I do think that is a thought that comes up in my mind still to this day. Like,
really?
Yeah. Like if I'm sitting underneath, like if you go to an event or something like that, and there's ornaments hanging from the ceiling, it's like, you know what? If that snapped, because I've seen Final Destination.
I would say Final Destination has ruined it. Driving behind the truck with like the logs, can't do that.
Same thing here. It's like if that snapped, that's gonna swing, and then the momentum. I'm safe. That guy over in the blue shirt though might be in trouble.
Okay, I did this as a child because my father worked with magnets a lot. He was looking for a way to use magnets as a powerful force to drive turbines. He never did quite figure it out, but that's what he's working on is pretty much his whole life. Taking a magnet and trying to force two same poles together. I did that as a kid. It ain't happening.
No,
not gonna happen. So you guys both did that too?
Yeah. I think everybody has done that at some point. Yeah.
Number 12, pretending to smoke when it's cold outside and you can see your breath. Yes. You're like, you're blowing out cold air and you think you're a big shot.
Do you guys enjoy that sensation of like cold air in your lungs?
Yeah, no. I do.
You don't?
No.
Oh, see, I would rather have that chill in my lungs rather than like a hot, sweaty day out, like breathing that in. Give me that chill. Give me that like shock to the system. It feels so good.
Not you though.
Oh no, I'm out. It gives me flashbacks to like practicing football in North Dakota in the dead cold. I'm out.
Sure. Number 11, having a body board slip out from underneath you while swimming and having it uppercut you in the face. I never was on a body board, so I don't know.
Yeah, because they like floated, so you could like launch them essentially if you took them underwater, which was fun.
Yep.
Watching your raindrop try to win the race as it streaked down the windshield of our bedroom window. Yep. Did you guys used to bet on that?
Not bet on them, but you could get it where like you would watch like one drop get into another drop and then get bigger and bigger as they fall down.
Car window for me was the big
car
one.
window. Yeah. Yep. Freaking out after swallowing a seed like from an apple or a watermelon. No, never did
that.
The biggest one was swallowing gum for me.
Oh yeah,
because I know some people have been into like if you swallow the watermelon seed, a watermelon's gonna grow inside. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
But gum, I still actually don't know to this day whether or not it actually stays in your system.
5 years or something.
I thought it was 8 years.
Yeah. Well, there's acid in your stomach, so I highly doubt it.
Gum's an interesting thing.
Well, it is. There's no question. Number 8, stabbing an eraser with your pencil and leaving graphite holes in it. Yes, indeed. I did that many times.
Yep.
You guys did it too?
Yeah.
Rolling up straps of your backpack as tight as humanly possible. I never had a backpack, so I don't know.
Yep. Definitely. It's more of just like it's a thing to kind of fiddle around with, like sitting on the bus You know, this is back when too, no phones weren't really a thing. There was no
we
like
had to entertain
iPods
ourselves.
or anything. It's like, yeah, so I'm sitting on the bus. I'm one of the last stops. We're just going to roll this thing up and let it go.
Okay, this one I don't really understand at all. Pinching their finger or lips in a hair clip. No.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you take the thing with the claws on it. And, yep.
You put it on your lip?
Why not?
Yeah, it's the same thing as like when you grab tongs for the first time. You gotta
click them.
You gotta check them.
I suppose. Playing with a foam ball that had a big bite or chunk taken out of it. Yes, from a dog, though, not from me. Number 4, believing that gum would stay in your stomach for 7 years.
Yeah,
you two guys, there it is.
There it is.
Believing your gum would stay in your stomach for 7 years. That's a classic one, along with getting yelled at for turning on the interior light of the car when someone was driving at night.
Yep.
Yeah, they didn't like that at all, I remember.
Can't see anything.
It's true.
To be fair, I'm actually on the side of that now because when your eyes are adjusted late at night or whatever, if somebody flips on that light, I only see my reflection in the window.
yeah. Yep.
Genuinely dangerous. So like not illegal in any sense of the matter, but I understand why my parents were always so mad about me flipping it on.
No question about it. Number, let's see, this would be, number 3. I don't know about this one. Drawing a sun in the top corner of a piece of paper. No.
Yep.
Guilty.
You guys did it?
Yeah. Where else is it supposed to go?
The sun, as well as the that S thing, like the super S that everybody draws. Yeah.
Really?
I bet that's got to be number 1 on the list.
Well, we're going to find out. We only got 2 to go. When first learning how to swim, having an irrational fear of sharks in the deep end of a pool. No. If you're stupid enough to think a shark just jumped into a pool,
No.
Yeah, it was more like it was an irrational fear where people would joke about it, and I was like, "There's no way." But then I'm in the water, all of a sudden, I'm like, you know what? Let's just take a peek, and then stick your head under the water. It's like, okay, yeah, I can see the whole thing. We're fine.
Okay, this number 1. Yeah, my mother would get so pissed off at me when I did this because it would splash. Blowing into a straw while drinking milk to create milk bubbles.
Okay, but Mom.
Yeah, Mom did not like it.
Do you know how much better that makes the milk taste?
You gotta
There you
agitate
go.
the chocolate. Yeah.
So actually, they were right. 15 things that most of us did do.
Yeah,
There were
absolutely.
a few of them that I didn't do, but most of them, either one of the 3 of us or 2 of the 3 of us did, or all 3. I mean, that's pretty damn important, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely.
We shall take a break. Be right back in a couple of seconds. We got a little schmoozing to do. Then about a quarter after. We should bring her on a quarter. We should actually bring Kristyn Burtt on time for once. What do you think?
Yeah, we could do that. We'll just head to a break here quick and then take another quick one after that.
That's what I'm thinking, man.
All right.
We'll be right back. When you go to a restaurant, you expect the chef to be an expert. You expect your auto mechanic to be an expert when it comes to fixing your car. You judge them both by the results of their work. Josh Arnold is an expert in investments and planning your financial future. Josh Arnold is my expert, and he should be yours too. I talk to Josh every week, and he understands the market and the economy, and he knows how to plan for your retirement. Don't put it off another day. The man with your plan is Josh Arnold. Call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll have an expert planning and managing your financial future. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? Inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. to thank you. They're having an overstock clearance and new product sale right now for the best prices ever. When you use promo code TOM, you get free shipping on your entire order. You get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived and won't last long. 6-pack towel sets for only $29.98. And take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses and mattress toppers. 100% made in the USA, on sale for as low as $99.99. Everything is on sale, from the brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually absorb dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, and so much more. To get the best specials ever, go to mypillow.com or call 800-516-5146. Use promo code TOM, and you can get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-516-5146. Go to mypillow.com and use promo code TOM.
I've been tracking the weather in Minnesota for a long time. I'm 5 Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Ken Barlow. And in the morning, I've got to be right, because my forecast affects your family's entire day. And in the evening, you can count on my friend, Ren.
That's right, Ken. I'm 5 Eyewitness News Evening Meteorologist Ren Claire. And as a Minnesotan, I know our weather can be tricky. Throughout the day and into the night, I've got you covered with an accurate forecast to help keep your family safe and ready for any weather.
And don't forget, no matter how things change or what time of day, you'll always get our forecast first at the start of every newscast on 5 Eyewitness News. Start your day with me, Ken Barlow.
And wrap up your day with me, Ren Claire.
Because 5 Eyewitness News is always tracking our weather, so you're always alerted first. It's why 5 Eyewitness News is Minnesota's weather authority.
I hosted my show on the radio for 40 years. Now I host the Tom Barnard Podcast, and I'll tell you, I've never seen the passion and engagement from our audience as I do now. I know we also have businesses that listen to our podcast, and it got me thinking, wouldn't it be great to help those businesses grow by telling my listeners about them? So here's the deal. If you own or handle marketing for a business, would like to have my audience buy your product or service, visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and we'll put together an ad campaign to help your business. That's TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and thank you for listening.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
You horn tootin' it is, ladies and gentlemen. Kristyn Burtt Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabankco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. I need help from you two guys, because even though I subscribe to the Star Tribune, every other day it says I'm not a subscriber. Would you people get your head out of your ass? I would really like that. What do you think, Kristyn?
Do you have a sign-in, a login? That's probably the issue.
I know, but I don't want to do that. It's just, I already did it. I already gave you the money. Shut up and leave me alone.
You have to sign in so that they know you paid.
But why do I always have to sign in? Shouldn't they be keeping track of whether I paid or not?
Yeah, well, there should be a remember my password, so that way every time you just click on the Star Tribune that it automatically loads you in, you'd think.
God, I just don't understand why it's so difficult now. Is everybody a dimwit?
Don't ask a question that you don't
I mean, I don't want to even start on that.
Very quickly, I don't know if I'm going to find this or not, but a foundry closed in Minneapolis. Has been open for 100 years. The foundry finally closed, and I believe it's the foundry I used to work at. And boy, did I suck at working at a foundry. I don't know how many times I was a teenager, by the way. I was like 18 years old. But when those huge buckets of molten metal are coming down the line, you want to get out of the way.
And it was the Smith Foundry.
I'm pretty sure that's where I worked.
After more than 100 years in business.
Yep. And where is it? Where is it located?
In South Minneapolis.
Yep, there it is.
We'll end the smokestack emissions. I guess they were fined quite a bit for...
the smokestack emissions. What's the problem?
Lung cancer's great.
Luckily, I did not ever spill molten metal on anyone, so I'm very happy about that. And it was never spilled on me either. I'm not kidding you, man. Did you ever been around molten metal?
No, that's what I feel like. I would be very nervous around molten metal.
Oh, I was. Believe me. It's kind of like when you piss off Kristyn Burtt. She has that molten metal in her head, and then you get spewed on. Right?
I'm not a very angry person.
No, you really aren't.
I'm not. No, even when my husband and I disagree, it's very much like I'm kind of annoyed at you. It's like at this level.
Yep.
A lot of sighing. We do a lot of sighing, like,
Mhm.
like the aggravations there, but neither of us are yelly people, which is great because I can't handle being around yelly people. It like affects my nervous system. It makes me like, it freaks me out.
You got to do to your husband what Catherine does to me. If I try to make a point and she doesn't agree with the point and she's not in a great mood, she always goes, well, aren't you special? Okay. Thanks, Catherine.
I can always hear my husband's eye rolls from like
You can
6
hear it?
rooms away. Yeah. And I'm like, I heard that. You were rolling your eyes. He's like, how did you know? Or he thinks I'm not going to hear his audible sigh when he's annoyed. And I'm like, you think I don't hear that? I've got like, laser sharp hearing. Come on.
Well, yeah, it must be laser sharp. You can hear eye rolls.
Yeah, it's true. I just know he's doing it. He's like, ugh.
Quite impressive, I think, as a matter of fact. Yeah, Catherine is, she's a little tired these days. After taking 6 weeks to move from one house to another, and we're almost done, but not quite. She's been working her ass off. Man, she's tired.
Moving is no fun.
Oh, I hate it. I just hate moving. There's no question about it. Plus the fact you leave behind a place you're so used to living in and all that whole deal. But we're just downsizing, we're at that point in our lives, we downsized, and it's just, it's wonderful. There's no question, but it's a lot of work, man.
It is a lot of work. And then you realize how much stuff you've accumulated over the years. And then you're like, why am I hanging on to this? And then some things that you think are sentimental, you're like, you look at your kids or your friends, you're like, does anyone want this? And nobody wants it.
Okay. A perfect example of that. I bought this lamp, and it's got, I don't know if you've ever seen these or not, but they kind of drape down from the top, and they're kind of like green and gold. They're, I don't know, I suppose, I don't know how to describe it, but I just love this lamp. Catherine sold it out from under me. Young woman came to pick it up with her father, and I told her, you're going to one lucky person, because I didn't know my wife was selling this lamp. It's like, God.
It's like clips from like a movie or a TV show where there's a garage sale and somebody walks out and they're like, why is this out here? Why is this out here? This is my favorite chair. Like, no, none of this is for sale.
My mom sold a nativity set from my childhood that I was obsessed with. And it was like the most beautiful, like manger. I'm not even very religious, but I just loved it so much. It wasn't even necessarily the figurines. So I have actually worked my whole adult life to like recreate my own version of the manger, and I have one that I absolutely love, but I never have let my mom forget that I was like, you sold my favorite manger.
We got a major problem because when we bought most of this stuff, we lived in a house that was like 10,000 square feet, so we had all these statues for Christmas. Like there's a Santa, and there's the reindeer, and then there's this, and there's Santa leaning on a lamp post, and had to get rid of all of it because there's nowhere to put it in the new place.
Yeah.
It was hard to do. I loved that stuff.
It's hard to do, but at the same time, there's something about living a very simple life. I grew up in a very big house, and as an adult, I can't imagine my mom even just trying to keep it clean and everything else. I mean, we had a housekeeper that came maybe once a week, maybe every other week. I don't even remember, but just having to do the upkeep on all of that. I mean, we weren't like the cleanest of kids. You're just kids, you're like, here's a dish here, and I throw my socks here and everything else. And now as an adult, I don't want a huge place. I don't want a ton of rooms. And you think like the American dream is to have the biggest house you possibly can. And we are maxed out at this place where we are right now. It's a 2-bedroom, but it's a very sizable condo in terms of square feet. We do need probably like a studio, because we don't have a guest bedroom. This is our guest bedroom. So, but I'm like, I don't want anything bigger than that. Like I don't like 3-bedroom, 2-bath, perfect. I don't want like 6-bedroom, 10 bathrooms.
Although the next time you talk to Catherine, you got to bring this up to her. Because I'm going through the boxes, and I found these plaques of this, that, and the other thing, of stuff that I, like honors that I've won, or this or that or the other thing. And I said, what are you doing with these? She goes, what do you mean? I said, well, these are all like awards that I won and all that stuff. She goes, I'm really sick of that stuff. Like, oh, okay.
Isn't there like a museum or like a Minnesota Broadcasters
National Hall of Fame,
or a school or something that you could donate it to? Seriously.
Oh, maybe, I suppose. But we
Yeah.
still haven't, thank God. She wants to get rid of him, though.
Yeah, I don't think you should get rid of him.
Aren't you special, Tommy? It's like, okay, dearest. What are you going to do? Does your husband have a heart? And I'm trying to be very serious about this because I just met a couple last night. The husband and I had a lot in common, and his wife was quite beautiful. Does your husband have trouble with the fact that you're better looking than he is? I've never even seen your husband, but I know you must be better looking than he is.
My husband's pretty handsome, but no, I don't think he. Oh, there he is. Yeah, there's the two of us.
Oh, that's your husband?
You've seen him.
Yeah.
Have I?
Yeah, those are him.
You're looking at it right now.
I know. I've seen, but I've never seen that picture before.
That's all over Instagram. We did like those
Instagram.
cheesy JCPenney photos on purpose.
Way to go.
I prefer this one, personally.
This one's the best one, I think.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you're riding his back. What a shock. He's kicking your butt and you're riding his back. That's a really nice picture. You got.
It is. JCPenney put it up on their photo site.
That's awesome.
It's there.
Did they
if you go
really?
look.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, because it's become a social media thing on, I think, TikTok probably, where families go and they take family portraits, but they do them like tongue in cheek. They're just cheesy. Yeah. They're funny. And we went for Bill's family's portraits. We all went, and all the adult kids, and the woman said, you know, do any of the couples want to take their own photos? And she looked at us and she goes, do you guys want to do serious or just totally cheesy? And I was like, cheesy? Like, we don't need serious. What are we going to do with like serious photos of like,
right?
You know, it just wasn't going to happen. And that doesn't feel like us either. I mean, that is us in a nutshell. Mm-hmm. That is our life.
One more marriage question, then we'll move on to the important stuff. Do you, when your husband says something to you that you don't really care for or you don't agree with, like Catherine, do you pretend you didn't hear what he said?
Oh no, I call him out.
She does that to me all the time. It's like I ask her a question, she acts like, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't hear you. It's like, yeah, whatever.
I usually go, you did not just say that. You did not just say that.
Yeah, she does that too. That's true. She does that one too.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
So what's going on in Hollywood?
Oh, I know what Tevin's going to want to talk about. Squid Games. Are you excited?
I must have missed. I saw season 2 about to be coming out.
So
correct?
Season 2 will be out December 26th. I know it's still a ways away.
Oh
and you know, it's funny. I was thinking about this. It was about this time last year that we were talking about Season 2 finally go to filming. It looks like they filmed Season 2 and 3 back to back. Season 3 will be the final season of it, and that will launch in 2025. So we will get those on Netflix soonish, which is good. But I was like, oh, Tevin's probably going to be happy that he at least has a date.
Yeah, that is good news. I saw that they were mulling around. I saw a headline, but didn't actually click on it. And then because I know there was another show you talked about that filmed like season 2 and 3 or 3 and 4 kind of back to back. Is that something that more studios do nowadays to kind of accommodate the busy schedules of everybody involved?
Yeah, it does help because you have to remember a lot of, especially Netflix, like a lot of the series are 8 or 10 episodes per season. Cobra Kai went and just filmed their last 2 seasons back to back. They did get interrupted by the strike, but by filming 2 seasons back to back, it does cut costs too, because even just like the basic things of like transporting people back and forth and renting out spaces and things like that, you just go, we're going to rent it out for 6 months. We're going to do this. And it's usually in the end, a more economic way of filming.
No, that makes sense.
I would imagine so. Yeah. I don't know. Oh, one thing I did want to mention to you, because I was thinking of you last night, is originally, oh no, I forgot the name of the damn show. Louder Milk. By the way, what's that guy's name that's in it again? Stars in it?
I haven't watched the show. So
you haven't watched the show?
Ron Livingston.
Ron Livingston. There you go. He's really good.
Oh, he's the Post-its guy from Sex and the City.
Yeah, there you go. But I started it a couple of years ago, but I kind of jumped in, with the current episode. That was a mistake because I thought it was pretty good, but then I got, it's like, it's not that great. But going back to the very first episode last night, if I start from the beginning, I think I'm going to really like that series because the first episode is really good. And I think what I didn't catch up on is some of the things that had happened in previous episodes. So a lot of things, it didn't really have an impact on me or didn't make much sense to me. But I'm going to start from episode 1. I think like 5 seasons, something like that.
3 seasons.
3 seasons. Okay. But I'm going to go back, and we started on the first episode. I think, do people make that mistake? They kind of jump into the middle, and it ends up like I've heard some people who jumped in the middle of Cobra Kai that don't like the series. So
Well, that wouldn't make any sense. I mean,
yes, right.
From a writer's perspective, they're asking you to watch from season 1, episode 1,
Yes.
so that they can lay out the characters and lay out the storyline for you. So jumping in really is, I think, maybe in the 80s when you were like watching like a random sitcom, you could probably have jumped into Family Ties and gotten it. But I don't think the way things are scripted now that you're really able to do that and fully comprehend what's going on.
That's a very good point, because that's exactly what happened to me. It's like, what? It's not even funny. It doesn't make any sense. But going back now, do you guys happen to know who the guy is that lives with him in the first episode? Because that guy is hilarious. And I've seen him somewhere before, but all he does is criticize Ron Livingston in the first episode. He just criticizes the hell out of him. It's really, really good. But I don't know the guy's name. He's a very big guy, bald guy.
Will Sasso.
Will Sasso, that's exactly who it is.
Ben Burns.
Yep. The first episode I was very impressed with. So, but you've never seen it, huh?
There's so much to watch. No,
Well, yeah,
I have not.
yeah.
Yeah. And Lavender Milk, it's one of those things. It's interesting because Ron Livingston's had a great career,
Yeah.
but I always feel like he runs like slightly below like the pop culture buzz of everything that happens.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those shows that maybe just get slightly overlooked, doesn't get as much media attention. I haven't had to do a press junket for it or anything else like that.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah.
No, he's terrific in it. There's the women in it. There are a couple of women in it that are really good too. The actors are very good in it, no doubt. So I'll hang in there this time. Yeah, jumping in the middle, well, especially for me, I guess, jumping in the middle does not work for me. It's like none of this makes any sense. Well, it's because they set it up, as you pointed out, Kristyn. They set it up in the first year or two. So that's very important to me, I guess. This is a setup.
Yeah. And that show wrapped in 2020. Like 4 years is like, I can't
Really?
believe that. Yes. Isn't that crazy?
I know. So they wrapped it because of the pandemic or whatever.
Oh, I think it ran its course.
And it's 3 years.
It
Yeah.
was 3 years, 3 seasons.
Well, give it a whirl. So anything new we should know about?
As I said, this is going to be a very quiet couple of weeks
Right.
because of the Olympics. Today is the Unstable drop for season 2 on Netflix. So that is if you're looking for something fresh and interesting. The other like big news, and this shouldn't come as a surprise, is that Maya Rudolph is going back to Saturday Night Live to play Kamala Harris for the fall. So
Oh God.
the public, I was like, the politics are coming back to the show, obviously, for the November election. And, they wanted her so badly that they actually paused production of her upcoming show, Loot. They were starting to film it. It
Really?
was supposed to begin filming August 26th. Apple TV's like, it's on pause. And the cast and crew just found out why. It's because she's going back to Saturday Night Live. So I'm guessing they're going to use her quite a bit, at least up until November.
What are they going to do if she ends up not running for president? That would be, although it's pretty obvious she is going to be the.
She is. I was like, let's not have any more twists and turns to this election.
Oh, I know. It's
Just
so
let it
bad.
happen. Let's just vote. I was like, I just said this yesterday. I'm like, I wish election day was next Tuesday just to get this over with and call it a day.
It's so interesting because I literally, and I talked about this yesterday, I just do not want to follow politics anymore because it was pissing me off so much on both sides that I don't have a favorite. So I just don't even want to follow it anymore.
The nice thing, honestly, the Olympics have been the greatest distraction from the political scene right now, because honestly, it's dominating the headlines. It's dominating what is on TV. And genuinely, like, the stuff that's coming out of the Olympics is good news. It's happy. You know, you get to hear good stories. You get to hear about how people overcame hardships and, all of a sudden they're the underdog and they win a gold medal, or even people celebrating winning a bronze, or people even just happy they made it to the finals. That stuff I'll take all day because it is just so much better than listening to what our American political landscape is right now.
Oh, Kristyn, honest to God, when you look at what Trump said about her at the convention. There was a black convention when he was talking about how she's not really black.
Yeah,
And then,
National Association of Black Journalists.
Yeah,
It's an
right.
annual convention. It happened
Exactly.
yesterday. Yeah.
and then of course on her side of things, you got the governor of Minnesota calling a guy who just shot in the head. It hit him in the ear, thank God, didn't kill him, calling him weird.
That's
Remember when
become their
somebody
new
was shot?
campaign slogan.
I know.
You
It's
know what?
just like Jesus.
Tom, the crazy thing is, speaking as someone from the media cycle is so fast now that
Yeah.
Trump's assassination attempt feels like 6 months ago.
Yeah,
And I
ancient
am
history.
not
You're
kidding
right.
you. And, and people have moved on. Nobody cares. I mean, I think Secret Service has a lot to answer for. I
They
will
do. Yeah.
100% say that. I do not understand how that played out unless that was an inside job of some sort of like that lackadaisical security for anyone
Yeah.
running for office should not be happening. I don't care what party you subscribe to. And but otherwise, like media wise, we got other fish to fry. Like it's Olympics. Okay, and the second the Olympics are over, it's the Democratic National Convention. And that's where we are. And we'll forget about the Democratic National Convention 2 days after it happens.
But it's so weird that you claim a woman who is black, at least part black, is not black at all. And then the guy just got shot in the ear, almost shot him in the head. You call him weird. Is there no human decency anymore? Is it just gone?
Well, I think the Democrats finally have a strategy, which is the Republican strategy, which has been to cut people down all the time. So they're just like, okay, well, we'll call it
Democrats
as we
been doing
see it.
that since I was a boy. They
That
always
is-
both.
No, but
sides
it
do
has
that.
gotten completely, it's taken a turn.
hideous.
It's taken a turn.
Mhm.
We've lost the diplomats of like when Joe Biden goes, like Joe Biden would never have the same type of campaign as Donald Trump. But Kamala Harris is like, I'll go there. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you have the McCains, the Romneys,
Mhm.
those guys, that type of we'll walk across the aisle and meet them halfway. That does
Right.
not exist anymore.
It doesn't exist anymore, but that's not good news that it doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, 100%. I'm on board with that. I
This
mean, it's
sucks.
like,
It's terrible.
it's terrible. It's terrible for everyone because it also gives everybody free reign and license to jump on social media and then trash each other too.
And social media probably caused it.
A lot of it gave people
Yeah.
a platform and a microphone, and a
Mm,
lot of
too
people
bad.
shouldn't have that. It's probably like I feel like I've pulled back from social media a lot because I'm like, I don't
Mhm.
want to jump into the discourse. It's too
Right.
exhausting. I get better things to do. I'd rather hang out with my cat on the couch. I mean,
mean,
I'd
one
rather
thing-
go out for a walk and enjoy the day.
Why don't people follow my example? And I'm very serious about this. Follow my example. I actually in real life hate AJ and Tevin, but you'd never know it listening to the show.
They did not respond.
Nobody even responds. You
No.
pills. I hate all three of you. That's all I have to say. Oh, you got to get going here. You're a busy bee these days.
I
But yeah,
do. I've got interviews. I've got Olympics to watch. Simone Biles is going for her all-around gold in just about an hour and a half or so. Yeah.
there you go. That's
I
great.
got to talk to Tevin's girlfriends via text all day.
Oh, you got to do that all day long again.
Well, when we were watching gymnastics, we text back and forth. She texted me at like 6 this morning. She's like, "What time am I watching Simone?" I'm like, "You are watching her at 11:15."
Oh, is she? I thought, didn't she like hurt her ankle or something? I thought.
She has a small like calf muscle injury, nothing that will affect her performance because she already won that gold for the team with that black calf. She's okay.
Mhm. Yeah, her lazy, untalented, or whatever they said about her and the rest of the gymnastics
Oh
team.
my
Yeah,
God.
Michaela's like the update to that is she blocked Simone on social media, and then Jordan Childs was like, "Look who just blocked Simone," and she blasted Michaela Skinner
That's
out
so
to the
good.
entire
Oh my
world. And what's wild is that USA Gymnastics even like jumped into the pylon and was like, "Oops!" Like at this point, I'm like, is she even going to get into the Hall of Fame when your own federation is calling you shady? So not looking good for Michaela.
I guess not. Human decency. Is it ever going to make a comeback?
No, it's not. We are.
Right.
No, it's like
No,
once
you're
we
right.
went there, Tom, that was it. I thought about that a lot during like the 2016 election cycle. I was like, we will never have a normal election cycle again.
Yeah, probably true. But look, it's on both sides of me. I don't support either one of them. I can't do it. I just don't want to hear the crap anymore. Human decency is gone.
Mm-hmm.
It's really too bad.
I mean, this is what we're left with to run our country. Yay for us.
All right, you pill. See, now there's human decency calling her a pill.
Yeah, or I'm a commie or I'm a booze hound.
Oh, you're a booze hound. I forgot about that too.
And I still talk to you, believe it or not.
Well, how could I show up on a daily basis? All right, we will talk to you tomorrow.
Yes, for Friday. How exciting.
Big Friday coming. Kristyn Burtt Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabankco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. We will see you tomorrow. Guten Tag. Ooh, I use a little, was that German?
A little German,
Yeah,
a little Deutsch.
A little German. You guys, I mean, you're in a different generation than I am, but the human decency part, even though it happened to your younger generation, by older people, you were affected by this. Doesn't it bother you that people are not decent any longer?
Oh yeah, like the level of, because I feel like it started out as kind of just like trolling or people being petty and like, oh, we're all kind of poking fun at everybody, but then somewhere probably around the 2016 or between then and now, it turned serious, and now everybody's just a-holes to everybody.
Yeah.
Why do we have to go through this? Stop acting like this, don't you think?
Yeah,
I would really enjoy if you stopped acting like that. I really would.
Yeah, I think that'd be great.
All right, fellas, we will talk to you later. Talk to you tomorrow. The family show's up in about 10 minutes.